Today it's a great pleasure to welcome our brand new Director of Football, Marc Tierney. Marc, welcome to Altrincham Football Club. Although I say brand new, you've been around a few months now.
Yeah, a few months, yeah. Firstly, just having a look at a few things kind of behind the scenes, slowly sliding into position, I suppose, speaking with the manager, the board, the directors, and just getting a good feel of the club. And yeah, I've been here for a few months and it's been going really well so far.
So tell us how the opportunity came about.
Yeah, well, obviously as a former player, I'm a former league player and Premier League player. So with Altrincham being in the area, me coming to a lot of the games over the past few years and just seeing the professionalism, you know, some of the promotions we've had, and came down and really kind of felt a local sort of enthusiasm for Altrincham Football Club. And when I saw there was a need of a director of football, I thought I'd be best placed to pass on my experience really. Came in and spoke with the manager, spoke with members of the board, went really well. I was really enthusiastic to come down and share my knowledge. I've already seen the players over a number of years, and we've got some real top talent here, as shown last year with how we overachieved. And yeah, just talks went really well, and thankfully get my opportunity now to just keep increasing the good stuff that's been going on at the club and increase the professionalism and just really go from strength to strength, and it's gone so well.
So you're not coming in cold, you do know a bit about the club and about the current team.
Yeah, I think that's the beauty of it really. It's not coming in firefighting. You know, we've finished well last season. I'm well versed on how the club's done over the past few seasons, and obviously my brother played here, and I've got good knowledge locally of the club. So no, it's not a cold start. Came in, worked with the management team, oversaw, obviously, as you do, multifaceted role in director of football role. And I'd known a lot before I come in, which really helped me get going kind of straight away. And now we're fully into the thick of it now, working with the management team, working collaboratively with the manager, you know, with both him and Neil Sorville's gone really well. Speaking daily with the chief exec and members of the board and the chairmans, and yeah, it's gone very well.
And you've had a long and fairly illustrious football career.
Yeah, yes, many moons ago I started at Oldham. It took me all over really, and I think that's again why I'm best suited to the role here in terms of being able to kind of pass on my experience. You know, started in League One, had to drop down to League Two to get some games. I've been on loan myself in this league at Carlisle, over to Colchester again in League One, over to the Championship with Norwich, and was fortunate enough to work really hard there and gain promotion to the Premier League, which was the top of the tree for me playing in the Premier League. So I've got a wealth of experience of every league really in England, and I want to pass that on to the management, to the players, and just to the club as a whole really, in terms of what I've experienced, the good, the bad and the ugly really, and it all puts you in good stead for this role definitely.
And can you pick out 2 or 3 highlights in your career for you personally?
Yeah, personally, going to Wembley with Shrewsbury was a big highlight, biggest game of my career at that point. I would have been about 22, 23. But I think making it to the Premier League, gaining promotion with Norwich, obviously was a kind of dream of mine as a child growing up, and that was a highlight, walking out Old Trafford against Wayne Rooney, and just the quality you play against. But every moment in the Premier League, and even at other clubs, you know, in terms of Shrewsbury Town, personal accolades, you obviously player of the seasons there, player of the seasons at Colchester. So there's so many good parts really. The way I came up, you know, started at pretty near the bottom, and it just goes to show with a bit of hard work and some skill and dedication, you can make it to the top. And that's the kind of mantra I'll be passing on to the players here and everyone here, in terms of the, you know, aim for the top really, because you never know, if you work hard enough, you know, it can come true.
And can you tell us a bit about the selection process that led you to joining the football club? Yeah,
it very thorough process really. I met many directors on the board and had just good open conversations with them of where they saw the club, where I could fit in and help, where I could use my experience, how excited I was for the role. And it just came to a great fit really. I had a really good chat with Phil Parkinson, the manager. We were probably only due to be in for about 20, 30 minutes. That went on for a couple of hours, and I think at that point, you know, you're onto something good. You're connecting on a few different levels on how you see the game. I already know how Altrincham play, and it's something that I think I can use my network within football to bring more eyes on Altrincham and bring more quality to Altrincham to add to the quality we already have. And it's going to be one of the major points really is working not only with the chairman, the CEO and the board, it's working with the manager and the management staff, and we've got a great one here. So as soon as we hit it off on that kind of meeting, I knew it was going to be a sure thing.
And you've got some big boots to fill because you're following in the footsteps of Rob EST, who did a wonderful job at Altrincham Football Club.
Yeah, as I said, it's a delight to come into a club locally that's close to my heart, that's ran really well, really behind the scenes, and just add to the good bits. Obviously, there'll be gaps as there are in many sporting organisations that I can help to fill, but also just go from strength to strength really. And a good base last year was. And the year before, really, of all the hard work that Phil's done with the team, just to push on, really, and really keep turning that screw on the professionalism of the club and driving us upwards, really.
And tell us what you'll be doing or what you are doing on a sort of day-to-day, week-to-week basis.
Yeah, day-to-day, every day can be different. Really working closely with the chief exec and the management team, really. So in terms of organising, the manager will look week to week, and Phil's been well versed in looking further as he's been here for so long. And it's just to take things off his desk so he can concentrate on the coaching and on the managing, really, which is obviously many other kind of facets to the job that I'll be taking from him, where we can work together on recruitment and different ways we can push the professionalism of the club. And we slide over different lanes with the size of the club. Really, everyone's happy to muck in and help each other, but it's just to further help all aspects of the side, really. You know, whether it be chief exec, chairman, or whether it be down to player loans deals, just all across, really, just to help the professionalism of the club, really.
And I guess quite a bit of your time is spent down at the training ground at Edgerton. Yeah,
enjoy going down to the training ground. I think I've spent more time this past week. I have done the entire time, really, going down and watching what the manager's doing and what Solves is doing with the team. Just touching base with the players, I think, is important to show that kind of personal touch with the players, where they're at in their minds, as well as, you know, you've got to be where they are as people, not just players. So I definitely go down there, talk to Jack, the analyst, you know, touch base with Tommy, physios, you know, just really get a whole feel of the club, as well as being back here at the actual ground and touch base with Sam McKenzie. And yeah, we have a real good kind of open conversations with each other. Just, I think that communication is key, really, and that's how I work up towards the chairman, as well as working down towards the management staff.
And in terms of Altrincham Football Club, now in its third season as a full-time club, we've come a long way very quickly when you consider that back in 2017 we were in the Northern Premier League, 2 levels below where we are now. 5 seasons back in the Vanarama National League. So we've come a long way very quickly. But in terms of the evolution of the club, there's still a long way to go.
There is, yeah. I think, you know, we have to be realistic in terms of we have come a long way in a relatively short amount of time. So while I'll be driving the professionalism of the club as the manager already does, we really want to drive that. But we've also got to be realistic in terms of where we've come from and how fast that process can go, because we want to be realistic, really. And I think the great thing about Altrincham is the fans understand that as well. We've overachieved last season. There's nothing to stop us going for that same kind of finish again. Being up towards the top of the league is where we really want to drive. I've been part of many different clubs, as we touched on before, in many different situations. And when you can get a feel of this club, which I have had a feel of behind the scenes, there's nothing to say we can't do what we did last year and push on again, hopefully with the support of all the fans and the board.
And how do you assess the progress of the team this season?
I've been really impressed with especially the last few results. I think we've just lacked getting a little bit of traction and momentum, but I think we've got that of the last 5 games unbeaten, I think it is, and we now seem to be free scoring. So I think we've definitely clicked, got into a bit of a rhythm, and I think that happened last season, really, looking at how we went on really strongly the second half of the season, especially coming up to Christmas as we are now. So I definitely know there's players, in my opinion, that could play higher, and that's why we've done really well in recruitment already to get them in for our team, but we want to keep hold of them, make sure they play our style, and then we can attract better players to come and help them. And when you play with better players, I think it brings the best out in you. So it's really important that we keep our style of play and keep playing the Alti way.
And what's your view on the strength of the Vanarama National League?
It's really strong, actually. Knowing there's not really much between this league and League Two. I've watched a lot of League Two games. I go and in terms of our recruitment, I go and watch a lot of games, take them in, and every now and again I'll go and watch a League Two game or a League One game, and there's really not a lot in it. It comes down to fine margins, as we always say, and decision making, but there's plenty of players in our team that I'm sure people would love to have in theirs, and we want to work really hard, and that's why I'll be working with Phil in the coming weeks to really nail a few of our players down, to make sure we have got a really tight squad at the moment that really get on together, work for each other, and anyone that's coming into that squad has got to buy into the culture here. They're big on culture and what it needs to be an Alti player, and work for your mate, not just for yourself. And this is a very strong league as we've seen, but we'll keep trying our best to improve, and hopefully we can push on and be knocking on the door come the end of this season.
And looking at the games you've seen of Altrincham so far this season, I think you've been at most of the home games and a few away games now as well. Any sides particularly impressed you?
I've been impressed by a lot of the sides in terms of how organised they've been, really. But I think I'd more look at ourselves of how we've been able to adapt on the road, especially. But I tend to not really dwell on other sides and how they set up. I just like to see how we best adapt to get round a few problems that might be thrown at us. I mean, we've just had a strong Southend side come here, and really big club. I'm watching the game. I'd brought Emil Heskey to watch the game with me, one of my local friends and former colleagues, and a few of the names I was saying to him of what was in the league, he couldn't believe the size of clubs that are in our league, with the likes of the Oldhams, your Southends, clubs that really had a historic presence in the Premier League, for example, at Oldham. So for us to be coming up against those teams really does kind of drill home the realisation that we have come a long way in a short space of time, and just to kind of manage expectations in that area. But at the same time, I'll also be showing that where I've come from, you can reach the top, and we've got a few players that definitely can go as far as they want, really.
And you're a local lad, born and bred in Salford, I think it was, and you live locally near Altrincham now. So that's got to be a massive positive.
A massive positive, yeah. I'm a local lad. I can, come down and walk to the ground. I do so with my kids. My wife will be here watching the game against Man United under-21s tonight. It's got a great family feel. My kids go locally to schools in the area, and that's really probably what's driven me here, is the success of the team, but also the community spirit it brings, the momentum, and that's another driver for me being here, really, to help the club become a bigger part of the community. I feel the bigger we are, the higher league we're playing in, the better brand of football we have, the better product we're selling in terms of to the fans, and then in turn we'll become a bigger part of the community, able to help the community out even more as we have done already.